Tuesday. It is Tuesday, November the 18th in the year 2025, and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Tom. It is American Education Week, an annual celebration that occurs before Thanksgiving to honor public school staff and build support for public education. This year it takes place from November 17th through the 21st with daily themes like Family Day and Education Support Professionals Day. The week is an opportunity for communities to recognize the contributions of educators and staff and to get involved with their local schools. The first full week, it takes place first full week before Thanksgiving, with the purpose being to celebrate the achievements of public schools and to honor everyone who makes a difference in education, including teachers and administrators and support staff like cafeteria workers and bus drivers. It also aims to promote public awareness and support for public education because public education is a good thing. Our G-List guest today is legendary. Shelley Stewart is a legendary radio personality, and I mean that at the highest level. He's also been a station owner and advertising executive. He's opened a lot of doors for many people, including me. Mr. Stewart built a remarkable career amplifying voices, shaping culture, and opening doors for future generations. His impact on broadcasting and business continues to inspire, and we certainly look forward to that conversation. Our show today, of course, is brought to you by the consulting firm of Best Girl Inc. Let's hear
Best Girl is a consulting firm that provides customized leadership, access and inclusion, public relations, communications, and organizational consulting services. Clients include Fortune 500 companies, utilities, higher education institutions, small businesses, and associations. Best Girl's team of consultants, led by Joyce Gilly-Gossam, Emily Hedrick, and Sean Jones, partners with business and education clients to promote organizational effectiveness, communication, motivation, and leadership, with always an impact on the bottom line. Best Girl's customized consulting services include strategic planning, corporate communication, executive coaching, fundraising, and economic development.
Best Girl continues to customize the solution that fits your needs. So let's go to the round table and talk to Barbara Wallace Edwards and Michael Walker. Good morning, Barbara Wallace Edwards and Michael Walker. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
We're doing well. Good morning, TG. How are you? Good morning, Barbara.
Great.
Good morning.
So, Barbara, what's happening in your world?
Well, Tom, first I want to invite everyone to come out to the James Owens Scholarship Breakfast that will be held this coming Saturday. As for those who don't know, James Owens was one of the first Black football players, legendary at Auburn University. And the James Owens Foundation will be hosting a scholarship breakfast this coming Saturday on the campus of Auburn University, where the trailblazers from the 1970s and I think some from the 80s this year will be coming back to campus and will be recognized and honored by the foundation as well as by the university. Tickets are still available, $50 per person. So if anyone is interested, you can still purchase tickets for that event.
What do you purchase?
Yeah, and I'm sure that they will have copies of the new book about James, Just Follow Me,
Yes.
which if you don't know about James, it's a great book to learn about him. And it's also talks about the integration of the Southeastern Conference.
Absolutely.
It's a historical book that I wrote.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I would recommend that everyone get a copy of that book because it is absolutely phenomenal. I'm hoping that we will have copies available there to sell, Tom. We have reached out to the Owens family, and also I think she's in touch with the university. So we should have books available on Saturday.
I think there will be. I know that Sam donated some, and I did as well. So
great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, good deal.
Barbara, where can you get tickets?
You can purchase tickets by going to the James Owens Foundation website. Or if anyone would like to contact me, I can actually, or you can just show up on Saturday, actually, and purchase tickets there. The event will be held at the Athletic Complex on the campus of Auburn University. So again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me and or reach out to Ms. Gloria Owens and the James Owens Foundation.
And for those of you who don't know, James was we spoke. I spoke of Shelley this morning, and looking forward to talking to him. We talked about how legendary he is. James is also a legendary historical figure. Who was the first black man to play football at Auburn University at a time when there was only one other black athlete in the athletic dorm. I think of 150 people, there were two black athletes, James Owens and Henry Harris. Both legendary, both deserve to be remembered and honored by the university. And hopefully, I know that John Cohen is supposed to be the speaker. He's the athletic director. Hopefully, they can put that bug in his ear and continue to bug them, because as President Gooch told me one time, he said, "Tom, you're always nudging."
And you should continue, Tom. I also spoke with our dear friend Eric Butch Simmons, who's going to introduce John Cohen at this event on Saturday, and he's mentioned that he's going to definitely bring up the subject. So we will continue to nudge on from every direction.
That's right. That's our job, is to nudge.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Michael Walker, what's happening in your world, brother?
Oh man, there's a lot of things going on, but I have to say, because of the midterm elections that are coming up and what's recently been happening, Marjorie Taylor Greene is stomping the campaign trail in opposition to Trump. And it's so funny because, she was his fiercest defender and stuff, and was just saying all kind of crazy stuff. And he said, all I see wacky do is complain, complain, complain. And it seems to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and didn't have a chance unless, of course, I gave her my endorsement, which she wasn't going to get. So he then later went on and said she is a wacky, ranting lunatic and a traitor. So that's where the rubber meets the road. They both feel like they have been backstabbed, so to speak, because she felt like all of the stuff that she did for him and defending him, that he would support her to run to be governor of Georgia or be a senator. And when he didn't do it, and I knew that wasn't going to happen, because they had said it here locally that she would alienate too many voters to win a statewide election because of her theatrics. So Trump wasn't wrong in that. Not, very rarely do I agree with him, but I have to agree with him in this case. That
she wouldn't have been good. Yeah.
No. And so she's now attacking him for the Epstein files and the subsidies. Now that's a valid argument. The Obamacare subsidies expiration, that is very valid. So there's a little validity to what both of them are saying, but they're both trying to, cover themselves.
They're backstabbing each other. I love it when the MAGAs start fighting with each other. But, I understand that Tucker Carlson is even coming out talking against him now. Tucker says that he wasn't actually, there was no real attempted assassination of Trump, that, that was all fake and planned as well. So, they're all just kind of speaking out loud now and disagreeing with Trump on a lot of things. And
normally they flip the other way.
Yes.
They're the ones who talked about him like a dog, and then when he won, they flipped over his vice president, that senator from South Carolina. I can't think of his name.
Tim Scott.
He hated him.
Yeah, yes.
And then when Trump won, he started smooching, buddy. He had Trump pull those pants down, and he smooch.
Some of them are still doing that.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Talking about football and everything and James Owens. Well, it looks like Auburn missed out on James 2.0. James Franklin is inking a deal with Virginia Tech.
I saw that.
So that's interesting. I don't know a whole lot about Virginia Tech when I say about the city and what have you. So I just wonder what kind of fit is that going to be James Franklin, who was born in the Northeast in Philadelphia and what have you, spent some time at Vanderbilt, and now he's going to go to Virginia Tech. It will be interesting to see how that plays out.
I think it was a good move for him because that's a lot easier conference than going into the SEC.
So true.
That's
So
true.
you probably can come out with a winning record, and they'll be so glad to have him. They don't expect to win the national championship or anything like that. So I think he made a good move.
As much as I wanted him at Auburn, I just don't know if he would have ever been given a fair shot at Auburn. So I think that may be a really smart move on his part.
Yeah, I think I agree.
They were just going to play around with that. They weren't serious.
Right.
But basketball did kick off, and I was very interested to see how Auburn was going to fare against the number 1 ranked Houston Cougars. And I have to say that I was impressed with the way they played. This team has some heart, and they have a few gangsters on their team. You can tell by the way they play. They have a lot of confidence and a lot of swag. But I will say, it still comes down to fundamentals. If they just hit half of their free throws, they would have won that game going away.
Right.
I mean, they missed, I think they only hit 12 or 21 or something crazy like that, So, and they lost by 1 point.
Right.
So if, just 3 more, free throws, that's it. You upset the number 1 team.
Right. I only caught the last few minutes of that game, and everybody's talking about the last play last couple of plays. Auburn was fouled, and the officials didn't catch it. So, that again, that's not the reason they lost the game. They lost it because they didn't make the free throws.
They lost the game because they didn't make the free throws. Now, that call could go either way. The ball was up in the air, and the guy did follow through with it. But I would say, and you can always say hindsight is 20/20 and Monday morning coaching stuff, but the last play, and even the announcer said, well, everybody knows it's going to be Tahad Pettifer that's going to get the ball. Well, yes, but sometimes you may want to use him as a decoy, okay? Mm-hmm. And Tahad is a smallish point guard, in other words. He's not really thick, and he's not very tall. And, to try to force him to win that game, I would have tried to lob it to the big guy maybe a couple other times because it's closer and he's by the basket. And I think they probably could have won. That's just maybe a young coach.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, Barbara, you got anything else?
I do. Switching back up to football, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch that South Carolina Texas A&M game, but did you see that state trooper intentionally caused a confrontation between those South Carolina players as the young man was going into the tunnel after he made a touchdown? I think he had a cramp or something in his leg, and he just kept running into the tunnel, kind of, I guess, trying to run it off. And some of his teammates went into the tunnel with him to kind of, congratulate him and check on him. And as they were coming back out, they were only in there a quick second. Cameras are on them the entire time. As they're coming back out, this state trooper charges in and bumps into him and and points his finger at him, and it was very obvious that he was saying something ugly. And a lot of people are calling for him to be terminated from the state trooper job.
When did this happen? What quarter was this?
This was maybe third quarter.
I think it was near the third quarter
or beginning of the fourth quarter. Yeah, so South Carolina was winning at the time, and the guy had just scored a touchdown from South Carolina, and so I guess this state trooper was upset because they were playing at Texas A&M, and so of course he was a Texas A&M fan, I'm pretty sure, and so it's probably a little bit of anger involved, and he was showing his power, I guess, but a lot of people are calling for him to be terminated. Now Texas A&M says he was immediately dismissed and left the stadium and said that he would not be working a Texas A&M game again, but people like that don't even need to be working with the public, period. So
he made a habit he intentionally walked between two players as they were walking back out of the tunnel side by side. He just walked in between them and kind of elbowed them both.
Yeah, elbowed them both.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then turned around and started pointing at them and stuff like that. You know,
He,
You
you
think
know,
he knew he was on television?
oh, he didn't realize he was on television the whole time the cameras were on him. National
yeah.
television was on him. So, yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
he, you know how the troopers are standing by the entranceway under the stadium. And so they went by him. He didn't have a reason to walk in there because
No,
he knew they were going to come back out on the field.
they had to
So,
play exactly.
yeah, so
What are
that,
you doing? Yeah, so it went viral, and a lot of people are calling for his job, and so LeBron James, I think, is the latest one to say the man needs to be suspended, and never work with the public again. And I agree, totally uncalled for.
All right. You guys got anything else?
I just want to mention one other thing that there's a lot of people were MAGA supporters and Trump supporters. There's this one lady, Linda Turk, who has expressed regret for supporting MAGA and supporting Trump after she discovered her monthly health insurance premium will increase from $74.99 to $1,781.49 per month, with the changes, with the subsidies ending for the American Affordable Care Act. So a lot of people are not pleased with when they get that bill, saying that their premiums are going to increase in January.
Tried to tell them. So.
Yeah, we did. We tried.
Well, Trump said he's just going to give everybody the money.
Okay.
He said he's just going to give people money and let them go buy what they want.
Oh
yeah, whatever.
Yeah. We got so if you guys, let's bring Barbara Larkin in. She may have something to contribute. She's with us today. Good morning, Miss Larkin. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. I'm so glad to be here and to see all these bright and cheery faces. Looks like you all been covering the news pretty well. Yeah.
What's happening in your world?
I want to comment on something Barbara was talking about, the South Carolina Texas A&M game. That tunnel event really sparked a lot of conversation, as she said. And there was some commentary that was mentioned, and it was stated that here this guy knew that he was on national television.
Right.
He was in a stadium filled with student athletes and student supporters and fans, and he committed this act against these two players who were just trying to return to the football field to continue the game. I mean, these are student athletes. These guys, they aren't even 21 years old. Right. And he takes those shoulder blades and arm elbows and flips it into them, and they turn around, and one guy stared at him. The one who initially walked into the tunnel, his friend grabbed him and pulled him towards the field. Right. And then the guy pointed in their faces and started mouthing words. It was just shameful.
It was
now, the
shameful.
question is, if he will do this in public like this, what will he do when he is on the road alone with a young black guy?
A Texas A&M police officer?
He's a state troopers.
Yeah,
state trooper.
State trooper. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are saying he should be charged with assault. They should file charges against him, because that was, again, uncalled for.
Well, it really was. And I think that the presidents of the universities should really take this as an issue, because these young men are focused on the game, the competition.
Right.
And it was a great game because, South Carolina was out there ahead and doing all that. I think they went in, what was it, 30 something to 3? 30 to 3 at halftime in favor of South Carolina, and they're playing in Texas. Okay, so there's a lot of emotion. Right. But of course, once Texas A&M came back, they just went to work. Right. But it was unfortunate that this great game was marred by this incident. It really was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see the incident, so it wasn't marred for me. But they were 30-3 going into the second half, and they let and where's that Antley? I'm sorry, brother, but they
I
don't know how to
know.
win at South Carolina because they just gave that game away. That
They
was
did.
horrible.
They should have won that game. They really should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Woo.
did you all talk about the spit with the National
Oh,
Football League?
the spinner controversy.
We hadn't
No,
I
talked
didn't.
about
Yeah.
that.
That
what's
was
wrong with these
interesting.
guys?
Say
That
what?
What's wrong with them? You don't spit on people. I mean,
Well, it wasn't so bad. The spit was bad, but what was really bad is that the guy who did the spitting lied about it on national television.
right.
Not
Like
once,
people, like
but
people couldn't
twice.
see.
You know, they got all these cameras. They slowed that spit down. Did you see?
Nothing.
You can't
They
lie
slowed,
about.
and they
You
did it
can't lie about what's
over.
captured on screen.
Yeah, it was
Right.
just over and over and over.
And he was emphatic in his lie. No, I didn't do it. Nothing came out of my mouth. You know?
That's right, Tom. He was said nothing came out of my mouth. I hardly said anything. I just stood there, and here comes this spit.
Time out. Barbara said they slowed that spit down.
But they did.
Excuse me. Oh
Oh
my.
Lord.
Yeah.
But look, guys, in defense of Jamar Chase,
Okay.
he is living in the world of Trump, okay?
Mhm.
In which your truth is what you believe your truth to be, regardless of what anything else is said.
Regardless
So,
of what the
you,
truth is.
yes. So that's where he
Or the
gets it from.
video,
So
or what
Yeah.
the
give him a
video
pass.
said.
Yeah. I think that it's a new world now, Michael. You're right.
And he was so emphatic in his lie. I
Yes.
He
mean, he was
was.
like, he was insulted that they said he did it. Lord have mercy.
It's sort of like in that movie where the guy said, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't." He said, "But we got you on tape. They will play it before."
Yeah,
Oh Lord,
I
that's
don't
funny.
know. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
amazing.
Recently, O.J. Simpson's estate is going to pay the family of Ron Goldman $58 million
Oh, wow.
to settle the Wrongful Death Act because, O.J. was cleared, um,
right.
but they sued him from a civil
They
standpoint,
did.
Mhm.
and he was found to be guilty of murder from a civil standpoint. And with interest in whatever it is, it's come up to $58 million. It was announced that they will receive that from the estate of OJ.
Wow.
Mm.
But they wasn't in it for the money now.
Oh, not
That's
at
what
all.
they said. They wasn't in it
No.
for the money.
Mm-mm.
You know, there's a whole lot more to that story
Yes, yes.
than
Yeah.
than just that part of it.
Right.
We'll all be dead and gone when it all comes out. Whatever
Yeah.
that truth is,
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on. Sean's got a minute for us, then we'll get to our G-list guest. Sean, are you there?
Good morning to everyone joining in with us. My name is Shantia Jones, and this is Got a Minute. Thanksgiving is next week. That means there's possibly a lot of food, laughs, or maybe even sadness. Did you know that Elvis once crooned about feeling blue at holiday time? Well, I'm here to tell you it's perfectly normal to feel that way. There are a variety of reasons why your days may not be merry or bright around the holiday season. It can be the jam-packed social calendar, deadlines for work, the loss of a loved one, sunless winter days, or all of the above. According to the American Psychological Association, 38% of people surveyed said that their stress increased during the holiday season, which can lead to physical illness, depression, anxiety, and maybe even substance misuse. The reasons include having lack of time, financial pressure, gift giving, and even sometimes family gatherings. If you are struggling or just need support, It is okay to reach out and share what it is that you need. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Shantia Jones, and this is Got a Minute.
You guys never notice how Sean's video is just it looks like it's dreamy. It's like a dream or something, you know? I think
Yes, yes.
came up with that. It's a good job,
Know how to
Sean.
do
Thank
that.
you.
She
Yes.
does a great
So
job.
let's
That's
go to
okay.
our G list. Hollywood's got the A list, and here on Tuesdays with Tom, we have the G list. Now, our G list guest today is Mr. Shelley Stewart. Mr. Shelley Stewart is a legendary radio personality, station owner, and advertising executive. He built a remarkable career amplifying voices, shaping culture, and opening doors for future generations, including myself. His impact on broadcasting and business continues to inspire. So let's welcome Mr. Shelley Stewart. Good morning, Mr. Stewart. How are you, sir?
Good morning, guys. Let me tell you first, you guys talking about sports, and I grabbed my football here. It says flashback. This is Doug Williams. See, that's it. Doug Williams gave me that ball here.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
wow.
That's cool.
Neat.
That
That
is
is
nice.
cool.
That's
Camera.
great.
Okay. Going across I love it.
All right, guys. Good morning to you.
Good
How
morning.
you
Good
doing?
Good
morning.
morning,
Morning,
sir.
Shelley.
I
I'm
know
fine.
that Barbara Wallace that would start off. She's your good friend, and she's got a question for you.
Good morning, Dr. Stewart. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Truly an icon and a legend in my world anyway. Delighted to have you join us this morning. And I just want to talk about your early beginnings. Let's talk about your childhood and where you know how you were, your upbringing and all of that. Can you just share with our audience? I know it well, but share with our audience just your how you got started in life.
Barbara, Tom, and gang, I guess I'll have to do it because you asked me to do so. I've done it over and over and over again. Yes, it was not pretty. My childhood was quite different. I can recall really at the age of 5, I was turning 6, and I witnessed my mother being killed by my father. Not only myself, but my older brother, who was 2 years older than I was, who died, who was killed in Korea. But this time of the year, uh, November, very trying to me in life now. I'm 91 years of age, and it's very difficult for me to really talk about my early childhood because during this period in 1939, my mother was killed and died and buried in August. We were given away to a family member in August on the north side of Birmingham. My mother's younger sister, as a matter of fact, in August. But in November, things were bad there in Collegeville. Aunt, she had no children. She had a husband, Henry, and they didn't want my brothers. My baby brother was only a few months old. He was born March of that year. The other brother, Sam, was uh, just 3 years old. I was 5, Bubba was 7. But the aunt didn't want us there in their home in North Birmingham. They put us in an old car and carried us back to Rosedale and put us out on a vacant lot in December of 1939. So my story, very difficult. We were split. This is 2025. Very difficult when you talk about it on a short period of time, but I will tell the world, family is very important. Very important. Education, I heard Tom talking about education from the beginning. Um, but my first grade teacher, out of all the things in my life, a lady named Mamie Leyland Foster, first grade teacher, then Rosedale, saw me and I was ragged as a can of crabs. And she told me, said, if you learn to read, if you get a good education, you can become anything that you want to be. And for whatever reason, guys, that stuck with me. Although I left Rosedale at the age of 7 in 1941 and went into the streets in this country as a homeless kid. My older brother left a few months before me. My two younger brothers were given away to a plantation in Scuba, Mississippi. Long story, but my brothers and I never lived under the same roof. The four of us never lived under the same roof ever. I'm the only one living today. Not a happy story, but an awesome, blessed story to share with the world what love can do, what God can do for us. So, and for you guys, to, and the ladies, see, I'm looking at her on the camera. Uh, 2025, Barbara Evans asked that question. But there's another lady, Barbara Larkin, sitting in there. Let's look at me. At the time in my life that I'd like to share. I watched she and Tom take me when I couldn't hardly walk, uh, made sure that I got on the aircraft, made sure that I got off the aircraft, made sure that I got into the hotel, made sure that I got everything, made sure that I was there to receive one of the highest honors that one could receive. Barbara and Tom were right there with me.
Yes.
And although I wasn't by myself, here I am sharing this morning with you guys to be honored with what is it, the Hall of Fame, highest honor that a broadcaster could get in the United States of America. So Barbara Edwards, yes, it was rough. You know the story. The world already know
Yes.
the story.
Yes.
And the movie industry, I think, clamoring, trying to hit all of the story for movies. And we hope to get our own movies and let everybody know that it's education that we push for. And I heard Tom opening up this podcast talking about education. That is what my rest of my life is dedicated to. Education. Education is the key. Can y'all give me a few minutes to say that? And I'm going to say it. If y'all give me, I'm asking for, I'm 91 now, give me 9 more years, I'll be 100.
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
say
Well, I
it
hope you get 9 more, brother. You deserve
right.
it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I,
Y'all got
I,
that.
I want to say, I know you got the highest award that any individual can get, but I'll also say there's so many people that you have just helped along the way
Mhm.
who they don't give awards. Maybe they don't give awards for that, but I can give you my award because you certainly helped me along. I'd come down to win, and you guys would let me sit there at the table. You would talk ball with teach me things and so on and so forth. And I'm just thankful for you, man. I'm just grateful that I was able to be there and that you guys were willing to help me.
But Tom, it was the attitude that you possessed at that time. You had one of the greatest smiles. And yes, I was a broadcaster, much older than you guys, but it was that attitude and you would that made me says give you all that I could give you, everything. When you come into the studio and talk, I wanted to give you more of me, give you some wisdom. I may not have the money to give you, but I said, Tom, do this, do that,
Yeah, you did.
help you do that. And I thank you for receiving it. That is the key. You've done more, as much as most of the guys. Now, yes, I've talked with many people in my career, entertainers. My God, I go through entertainers that I could go for the next hour or two that I worked and befriended and done my career. There's a guy who passed a few months ago, and he and I would do it at the Product Theater many years ago. And he, on back of one of my books, he wanted to write and say who I was. And that was Quincy Jones. He at that time was playing a band for Ray Charles. Uh, I was uh, opening shows for Red Fox and others in 1940 and 1950s. So my career not only went from one to the other, but every part of this country that I was able to deal with people uh, that Birmingham did not know that I was dealing with. I
Yeah.
although I was in Birmingham, but I was dealing with the United States for since the mid 1950s. They talk about the unfairness of people. Certainly, my thing was not certainly a disc jockey. I never was a disc jockey. I hated the damn word disc jockey. I was a mass communicator, not a trash communicator.
There
And
you
I mean, that's what it was. And I was
Yes.
not afraid of, in other words, I was not afraid of white folk. That was,
Yes.
not let me y'all laugh about it. Man,
you ended up
I
owning that advertising agency. I admit
yeah,
that.
yeah, but the name of the game is I believe that all mankind is equal. Look them in the eye.
There you
Talk
go.
to them. You look them in the eye. Deal with them man to man. Not yes, sir, but deal with it. You understand? I heard you guys
Yes.
talking about that state trooper doing the football player. You understand? Those type of things still exist in 2025. I
Yes.
dealt with it in 1950,
Mm.
1949. I dealt with it in 1960. They say I'm a civil rights activist. I've never been a civil rights activist. I was a human rights activist,
There you
Yes.
go.
a person for human beings. Yes, the
Yes.
civil was in there, but it was about equality of all people. That's
Yes.
what it's all about.
Absolutely.
BPL, you got something you want to add to it?
Yes, where in the world should I start? I was very fortunate, Tom and I, to accompany Dr. Shelley Stewart and his wife Doris to Chicago. And he opened up a whole new world for me
Hey,
because
Barbara,
we, yeah.
let me just interrupt you just for a second here. But when you mentioned Tom, you talked about your husband,
Oh,
Tom. You're not talking about me,
thank you.
right?
Yes, Tom Larkin, my husband. Yes, you're right, Tom. We don't want to get that confused, do we?
Please don't do that.
That could be a problem. But Tom Larkin, my husband, and I accompanied Dr. Shelley Stewart and his lovely wife Doris to Chicago. And he opened up a wonderful world for us. And one of them was the Broadcasters Hall of Fame. I didn't know anything
Mm,
about it. And Shelley, when he entered the room, everybody, it was like a flood started coming towards us. I'm like, what's going on? Well, Shelley had entered the room. And these people came talking about how he had inspired them. So my question to
mm.
Yes.
Shelley is your work of being of inspiring so many. Who inspired you to keep moving forward during the 50s and the 40s and the 60s and even into 2025? Who inspires you, Dr. Shelley Stewart?
It was a number of things, Barbara. I had in the early, early 50s, I was reading the Chicago Defender, I believe it was, the
Yes,
Pittsburgh Courier, the black, at that
newspaper.
time, newspapers.
Hmm.
There was no, in early 50s, the black radio, then they were not talking about anything. As a matter of fact, you didn't use the term black. It was what Negroes were doing in the country. And I was inspired by what I was reading in those Negro newspapers. And there was a guy named, I was in the early age, a guy named Thurgood Marshall, uh, that I was reading what he was doing, things that guys were doing in other parts of the country. And yet in the South, they were afraid. And I had the opportunity to get on the air. God gave me that. I don't know what it was, but I sounded different than most of the other blacks, Negroes on the radio. I was talking about uh, each and every home, everyone, talking about making a living, economics. I was talking about that, playing the records, yes, but I was not just a person playing music, but I was taking on the leadership of those men and women who was before me. And like I told you, that lady, Mamie Laban Foster, the school teacher, on a young age, I would be talking on the radio. She'd come on, boy, listen to this. She was guiding me along the way. So I had people who were talking with me and helping me. And I had the, I guess, God gave me the guts, I guess, to get on the radio and say it. I was not afraid to get the message to people. I was not afraid to go into the communities and talk with people. So I had lots of people who helped me, Barbara.
Hmm.
Some There were men who were mechanics, men who were garbage men. There were ladies who were seamstresses. There were ladies who were cooks, but they were talking with me. So I've had so many people who helped me along the way. I can't name one. It's a whole lot of people, a lot who have shared this story along this journey.
Well, I have one more question about the Radio Hall of Fame. Um, that was an amazing experience, an amazing experience. And um, the 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 people that attended there were many who were awarded wonderful awards, and the award was beautiful. I mean, it's just an amazing piece of artwork that they gave and presented to the recipients. So, why is the Radio Hall of Fame so important to you, Shelley? And is there anybody else from Alabama who is in that Hall of Fame, that National
No,
Hall of Fame?
I'm the only I'm the only Alabamian uh, in the Hall of Fame now. There were Tom Joyner, but he was really into the Hall of Fame from Texas. He
Hmm.
didn't claim Alabama. Uh, he was a syndicated person. I'm the only person that made it to the Hall of Fame from the scenic route, not from the scenic route, not syndicated. I was never syndicated, but the scenic route. I was broadcasting not only in Birmingham, but St. Louis, Missouri, Freeport, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, all across the country. I actually broadcast Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. I actually broadcast in these markets. So no, there's no one in the Hall of Fame ever done what I've done, not ever. Uh, and that's what they were talking about that in Chicago. You were witnessing. They've never met anyone such as myself. It's always,
So,
yeah. Go ahead.
so you had to drive from Birmingham to Memphis to do radio shows,
My
to
God,
drive to
many,
St. Louis. Is that right?
yes, I did it many times. Many times. I traveled the chitlin circuit, they call it.
Wow.
I'm the
Wow.
chitlin. So, no, I'm not a big shot by any means. Uh, I'm very well, in other words, Tom Gosson, we say I'm street smart. I'm pool room smart. I'm courthouse smart, jailhouse smart. And so, in other words, I'm just plain old Shelley.
So, what's the future like for Dr. Shelley Stewart? What are you doing now? You're 91. You know, you've got the Radio Hall of Fame. You're just really out there. People are seeing more. There was a, um, there was a, on, what was it, Channel 42?
Channel
Was it
42 did a
Channel
story
42
yesterday.
last night that did
Yes.
a presentation on you and the Hall of Fame. So, what are you doing now to keep yourself active at 91, going on 92? What are you
I'll
doing?
share with you. That is a cover of
That's the book.
Pitch. That is the Road South Unlimited Series Pitch Bible that we hopefully that will do a movie. It's a 15 episode already done, ready. So we're working on that to work on that now. A number of things that I quit. I will not quit. I don't want to sit on my butt. I want to pass this thing along. But most important, guys, I, the Madison Stewart Foundation, actually, if you do the checking on it, started in 28 rather. They visited over 25 cities, states rather, in this country, and visited more than over 2 million children. Inside Out documentary has been viewed by over 200,000 people. Well, I'm sorry, 2 million children. So I have plenty of tools, Tom, Barbara and others. We have plenty of tools. The Mary C. Stewart Foundation, we're not trying to replace anything. We're providers of tools to help educators and other people. We're a tool provider, not trying to
Yes.
do other things. We've already done that stuff. I'm putting more energy with that. People are willing to join me. That's what I like to do.
I know, Michael, you got something you want to contribute here?
Yes, I appreciate it. Dr. Stewart, thank you for being with us today. And let me just say congratulations to your impressive list of accolades and accomplishment. They're certainly unmatched. But I'd like to ask you about broadcast ownership within the African American community or people of color. It seems like there's not enough people or diversification when it comes to that. So tell me, how difficult is it to get a license? And other than money, what's the main barrier to
There,
entry for
there, are,
broadcast
there,
ownership?
are fewer owned, there are fewer owned black-owned stations now than there were in 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, there were. See, there's a term, guys. That's another program that uh, needs to be addressed. But it's been going on for over 25 years now. And reversing that is almost impossible because of the new things now, the podcast and other things, other way of communicating. Buying a broadcast facility now is almost impossible. Almost impossible. Yeah, we didn't do it many years ago. Uh, uh, the station that I bought and we sold still owned, WATV is owned by black, now company,
Yes.
but other stations are not surviving so well. One is, remember, if you take the money from, it's not going to survive. Take the air. The air is the money. So you can say, I'm open a radio station, but you don't put an air into it, and the money, it's not going to survive.
Yes.
It's all about that. So as far as blacks investing in it, we've got to come together and say, how will we invest and be able to get into the communities? There aren't any, what you're doing now, this particular podcast, find a way to get it expanded into the communities of people. You got to find a way to do that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I found the best way to do things is go in the communities. What's wrong with going back in old handbills? Going in the community. Back in my day, I had to go in those communities, sit on the front porches, and I had to do those things. I never went into the church and called a meeting. I went to the parks, I went to the pool rooms, I went to chitlin joints. So I think now we've got to learn to communicate. We as black people in this country are not communicating within the communities, honestly.
One of the things that I think was also was inspiring for me was you ended up in partnership and ownership of an advertising agency in Birmingham. And I know that that was an industry that where there weren't many blacks at all. There certainly weren't any owners. Can you talk about O2 Ideas a little bit, Shelley?
Yeah, that was. I found that I couldn't find a way to get into it, but a relationship that I met a guy in Shreveport, Louisiana, in 1958. He was actually a tie salesman, uh, working at a men's store down there, and I went in to buy a tie. They didn't wait on me. 1958, but this guy, who was Jewish, guess he came out and said, "Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir?" I liked the way he came out. And I went to the white guy who owned the radio station. And there's a guy you need to hire. He is a good salesman. And they hired this guy. Actually, I wanted him in Birmingham. I knew I was coming back to Birmingham the next 2 or 3 months. They hired Cy, and we brought Cy back. But the intent was to build this guy very close relationship. And 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, we built a relationship here. I taught him how to do things in the advertising business. 1967, quietly, Si and I decided to open an advertising agency. I said, Si, I want you to take the lead. Don't tell anybody I'm your partner. I will not tell anyone you my partner. And we went out with the businesses and we opened O2 Ideas, which is O2 Ideas, in 1967 as a partnership. He and I, Barbara, she knows a part about that.
Yes. Yes.
She knows well. Of course, I was a different guy at that time
Yes.
who was there with me. But I had to, eventually we had to part ways because it became a race thing. You know, white, black. The new guy who I brought in, he wanted to be, I'm the big man, I'm the big boss. I had to find in the 1990s come out and say, I'm the same guy that
Hmm.
opened this damn thing in 1967. And O2 Idea still exists to this day. My daughter Sherry, uh, that's how I did it. I went to many blacks before then. No black would go into business with me. They, at that time, I pleaded with blacks in Birmingham. They asked me who, I said, we don't want to do it that way. We want to go in business together, not say anything, not black. We want to go in and go for the dollar. And that's why that happened, Tom. It wasn't, I never went, I never really went into, uh, I went and said how much of the market we can cover. So I didn't go in there for 10% of the money. Hell no. I positioned, I never went in for 10% of the money. I went in a position to, to compete for the dollar. So that's what I did. I'm making a point about that.
Has anybody got anything else for Mr. Shelley?
I just want to again say what an inspiration Dr. Stewart and his beautiful wife Doris have been to me in my life. They are phenomenal people and wonderful mentors. And Dr. Stewart, you mentioned the Maddie C. Stewart Foundation. That is your foundation you started in honor of your mother.
Yes.
And so I wanted to expand on that. And also, you have a Shelley's Plum Line that you're working on right now, and you have books that you've written. Can you just talk briefly about those things and how people can access those?
Share this plumb line. That's tough. Y'all know how to do that. Help me out. I do every week. And I talk about all the issues. I talk about everybody. I talk about Tom Gossip.
He does.
He does.
We have a good time. Uh, I'm the oldest podcaster in the world.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I'll be recording later today. This
Okay.
this week's episode, this and next week. So I'm pretty busy. So I
Yeah.
keep busy.
I just want to say thank you, Shelley, for being with us today. You know how I feel about you and Doris. You all are so special to Tom Larkin and me. So we have a special friendship, and um we learn so much and get so much wisdom from Dr. Shelley Stewart, and just want to say how much we care about you and how much you're still a teacher, and I'm still
Yes.
trying to
Every
learn,
day.
still learning.
The
Yes.
So,
the same road goes north, goes south with us, Barbara.
yeah,
So all of each and every one of you, I'm here. I listen to learn. I talk to teach. Uh,
There you go.
I've learned a lot. And if you want to ask me questions, I'm willing to share. That's what it's all about with me now. I'm not trying to make a living. I'm trying to teach you how to live, others how to live.
Yes.
So
hmm
Yes.
hopefully that somebody will get it. Uh, I'm, I'm asking, I'm asking, if I can get a lawyer to give me a piece of paper They guaranteed me 9 more years.
I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Listen to learn, talk to
Talk to
teach. I,
teach.
I, I
Yes.
wrote that down. So
That's great.
That's the way I see it, Tom. Listen to learn, talk to
Talk to
teach.
I
teach.
love that.
Yes.
I
I do
love
Yeah.
that.
too.
I'll definitely use that.
Use it your
Thank you,
will.
Shelley, so much for being with us, man. It's such an
Thank
honor.
you.
And
Yeah.
it's such
Yes.
an
Thank you.
honor.
We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Get
right.
back in.
That was great. That's Mr. Shelley Stewart, who I have been knowing for many, 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 many years, and learned a lot from him. So, my closing comment for today, or as I see it, as I mentioned at the top of the show, it is American Education Week, an annual celebration that occurs before Thanksgiving to honor public school staff and build support for public education. This year it takes place from November 17th to the 21st. The daily themes are there's a daily theme, and then yesterday, Monday, November 17th, was the kickoff. Today is Family Day. Tomorrow is Education Support Professionals Day. Thursday is Educator for a Day, and Friday is Substitute Educators Day. And I was a substitute for in one of my other lives. Um, and so that's our show for today. Thanks. I just want to thank Dr. Stewart again for being with us and for his wisdom. And I will remember listen to learn, talk to teach. Um, so that's our show for today. Thank the audience. We appreciate you. Thank our sponsor, Best Girl Inc. Thanks again to the TWT team, Barbara, Sean, Emily, Michael, Joyce, and Barbara. And as always, a special thanks to our audience. And that's it for this November 18th in the year 2025. Remember, a day without a smile is a day wasted. Enjoy yourself. Make every day count. Stay safe. Peace.
Mm.
Right. Great.
That was good.
Love.